At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to S&S Auto and Body Shop in Tonganoxie. S&S has been the area's premier auto collision repair center since 1972, working on all makes and models, glass replacement, bumper repair, fiberglass and plastic, color matching, and so much more. And they work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game and learn more at snsautoandbody.com or call 913-369-3193.
For a winning team, contact White Birch Properties, the real estate MVPs.
Shop local and save at Brothers Market in Tonganoxie, where we treat you like family. Brothers Market has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy fresh cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need. From apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Brothers Market, open daily. Learn more at shopbrothersmarket.com.
Beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Tonganoxie, Kansas, the site of our soccer matchup tonight here on Tonganoxie Sports Live, presented by Kansas Insurance. See how they can help you protect what matters most by calling 913-369-6600 as we cruise along into our S&S Body pregame show. Hello, everybody. Dylan Funk, Dennis Drennan, as always, here live at the press box at Beatty Field as we have our second and final girls regular season soccer matchup of the year. It sees your Tonganoxie Chieftains, currently ranked third in Class 4 through 1A, taking on another team from 5A, and in the Frontier League, the Bonner Springs Braves. And we saw this team for Tonganoxie 9 days ago, last Tuesday. It wasn't the best performance, 8-0 shutout loss here at home against the Spring Hill Broncos, another team in 5A in the Frontier League. They responded on the road with a swift 2-0 victory, 2-0 if you will, on the road at Paola on April 23rd. And then the very next day on the 24th, they were back here at home, taking on the Basel Linwood Bobcats, and they dropped that game 2-3. So that takes the overall for this Chieftain team, currently ranked third in 4A, 4 through 1A, like I mentioned, at 8-3, only a game behind first. That's Kansas City Christian High School at 9-2, and sandwiched in between is Lewisburg High School at 8-2-1. Very fierce here in the Frontier League, as always, as you would expect. For this season, Denny, it's been so great. A lot of underclassmen, very talented underclassmen for this Chieftain team. And they, even through battling some injuries and whatnot, had losing a couple of key players. We saw that happen 9 days ago with Natalie Loving and a couple of others. And the fact that they're still here at 8-3 and sitting third in 4 through 1A with about the final week or two in the regular season, this team's got to feel pretty good about where things are sitting for them right now.
Yeah, no question about it, partner. And they've played some pretty tough 5A schools with some of those losses. So nothing to hang your head about there. Still ranked third in 4 through 1A. So hopefully, they got to feel pretty good about that. They should have pretty good seeding come postseason time.
And I'm glad you brought that up because your losses, 3 of them, 2 to 5A schools in Spring Hill and Basel Linwood, who both are ranked in the top 10. And then you have the number 2 team in 4A in Lewisburg, who beat you 5-0. And that was at Lewisburg, too, on the road. Right. So not too shabby. Taking on this Bonner Springs squad as we get the slate set for them. Currently 13th in 5A. They're 4-6 overall, scrapping, looking to make a deep postseason run here in the month of May. They last came out with a victory in Frontier League play against Ottawa this past Tuesday down in Ottawa. They get the win 2-1, and that broke a 4-game skid for them, and before that losing 5 of the last 6. So the Braves coming in with a good win. against Ottawa. They'll look to do it again here against Tonganoxie. Again, a little shorthanded with the injuries. A big win today for the Braves. That could really project them to a potential big looming May.
Yeah,
So
no question, partner.
We'll see. Both teams playing with a lot on the line in this matchup here tonight. That's what you always expect between Tonganoxie and Bonner Springs. One of the best matchups you can get in the Frontier League. We're about 3.5 minutes away from getting this one started here tonight. We're stepping aside in the SNS Body pregame show. Come back with starting lineups for you. We'll meet the starting 11 for both the Braves and the Chieftains coming up on your home of the Chieftains. Tonganoxie Sports Live.
Does your roof have possible storm damage? Looking to get solar panels? Or is it just simply time to get it inspected? That's where Balmer Roofing and Solar come into play. Balmer Roofing has a combined 40 years of experience with JAF Master Elite and Emerald Pro contractors. The Balmer family and their team are ready to give your house a brand new roof or solar panels at an affordable cost with a 50-year warranty. Life has mishaps and they want nothing but your customer satisfaction. Let them prove why so many of your neighbors choose Balmer for their roofing projects. To schedule a free inspection, call 913-845-5252 or visit them online at balmerroofing.com.
Your one stop for beauty and relaxation. That's the Beauty Bar, Salon, and Spa in downtown Tonganoxie, offering services for men's and women's haircuts, facial waxing, tanning, makeup, bridal services, and more. Their team is dedicated to providing a memorable experience for each guest. From vibrant styles and colors to soothing massages, they have everything you need to look and feel amazing. To make an appointment, call 913-347-2957 or visit them at 414 East 4th Street in Tonganoxie.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community, where friends are found down every street. That's where you'll find us, taking time to get to know you, calling you by name, generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Tex Vandervoort in Tonganoxie today.
First State Bank and Trust is with you wherever you are with complete online banking. Cheering on the Chieftains once again? Why not pay your bills online? Waiting on your kiddos to get out of school? Seems like a good time to make a transfer. Or how about making a deposit from here? Back in the gym for another night? Why not get an e-statement while you cheer on Tongi? And of course, at First State Bank and Trust, you can always bank from right here. Come on in and see us and get your very own Chieftain card. To learn more about all the great ways to bank with First State Bank and Trust, go to firststateks.com. Has your furnace left you out in the cold? Pipes plugged? Are you underwater with your water heater? If so, you'll be glad you called Ladd. Ladd Service Company in Tonganoxie has been your heating, cooling, and plumbing specialist since 1986. Ladd is your dealer for top quality brands like York, Aprilaire, and Wolverine Brass. Plus, they maintain and service all other brands. Schedule your appointment by calling 913-369-3509. Visit laddserviceco.com to see why you'll be glad you called Ladd.
Have you heard of Genesis Schools? Teaching students in preschool through 5th grade in Tonganoxie, Genesis offers smaller class sizes, individualized instruction, and a Christian worldview. Their mission is to exalt Christ by teaching and reinforcing biblical truths while producing well-rounded, educated young people who are equipped to serve God and others. For enrollment and tuition information, call 913-845-9498 or online at genesisschools.org.
And now, the starting lineup for your Tonganoxie Chieftains. Number 3, Molly Voss. Number 6, Marissa Dick. Number 12, Reese Eckstein. Number 13, Olivia Butler. Number 14, Abigail Blanca. Number 16, Legan Caraway. Number 21, Gemma Halsa. Number 22, Lily Sanders. Number 27, Avery Smith. Number 35, Evelyn Fox. And in goal, number 97, Lauren Brewer.
Yeah, those were your starting lineups for both the Chieftains and the Braves. As always, was presented by Crookham Construction, performing a wide variety of concrete construction and special project services throughout the area. Find more information at crookhamconstruction.com. You've been watching the S&S Body pregame show here on Tonganoxie Sports Live. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at snsautoandbodyshop.com. First whistle coming up next here on Tonganoxie Sports Live.
More toppings, more taste, more value. Gambino's Pizza. You're gonna love it. Taste mouth-watering flavors in our new Chicken Bacon Ranch Pizza. Bring a crowd to feast on our 11 toppings Mobster Pizza. Pizzas with quality meats and a 100% real cheese, like our triple tasty seasoned sausage cravers pizza. Try favorites like pastas, calzones, sandwiches, appetizers, salads, and desserts. More toppings, more taste, more value. Gambino's Pizza. You're gonna love it.
For projects big or small, Southern Star asks you to always call 811 before you dig. It's free, easy, and keeps our community safe. After calling 811, a professional will use paint or flags to mark buried utility lines within a few days. And calling 811 is the law. Hitting underground lines can disrupt utility service and cause serious injury. Safety is in your hands. Every dig, every time.
Hey, you ready to go to my mom's?
Well, I can't go today. I have to mow. It's probably going to take all day.
Well, that's too bad. Don't work too hard.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
See the full lineup at hersinc.net. Call 913-247-3530 or just stop on by.
Ready for the start of the first half in this one. Chieftains and the Braves, always pretty exciting when these two teams get together and mix it up, whether it be on the football field, on the soccer pitch, on the hardwood, you name it. Usually pretty competitive between these two squads. Head coach, as always, for Tonganoxie, John Orndorff. His assistant coaches, Katie Erpelding and Nanako and Josie Hollier. And for Bonner Springs, they're led by their head coach, Kevin Riley, and assistant coaches, Ethan Isaacs and Monica Cabrera-Johnson. The battle for Tonganoxie and the injuries, they continue to be a constant issue for this team. And it's just one of those unfortunate circumstances that come with the territory of just any team-organized sports, is that usually the physical activity injuries are going to happen, and they've been happening at a not so very opportune time for this Chieftain team. Their 11 starting today: Mollyville, Marissa Dick, Reese Eckenstein, Olivia Butler, Abigail Blanca, Legan Caraway, Gemma Halsa, Lily Sanders, Avery Smith, Evelyn Fox, and Lauren Brewer. Lauren Brewer being back at the goalkeep. Tonganoxie wearing some alternate uniforms, alternate kit, if you will, today. Black jerseys, red shorts, red socks, and in goalkeep it is Brewer wearing the long gold sleeve jersey. Bonner just in the traditional white on black with white socks, as they're going to get the opening possession, and we are underway and wasting very little time, firing it down the field, looking for some hustle play perhaps. And right away, it didn't take very long to get some contact into this match. That's Abigail Block on the far side. It takes a tumble down to the deck. She's the one that quickly scrambled over, knocked it out of bounds. That'll set up a throw in here for the Braves. When we were here 9 days ago against the Spring Hill Broncos, the Chieftains had very limited opportunities as far as trying to get up, set the offense up, and score. Again, they get shut out, 8-0 in that loss. We didn't even make it all the way through the second half. The game ended early. Definitely a game that was frustrating, and they responded with a good win, 2-0 on the road at Paola, and then coming off a loss last time out here at home by one goal, 1 point, if you will, 3-2 to the Basler Linwood Bobcats. So the last two losses coming to teams up in classification 5A. Their lone loss to a 4-1A school, that was a 5-0 loss on the road earlier in the season, back in the early parts of the month of April at Lewisburg, who's currently the number two seed to team in 4-1A, as you would guess, right above these Tonganoxie Chieftains. Here's Halsa trying to work through a couple of defenders. Already a much better start is getting the ball on the offensive side of the pitch here for the Chieftains. It's out of bounds. We'll get another throw in here. Yeah, this has been such a big story about this Chieftain team this year. The vast majority being underclassmen. Only two seniors on this team, Johanna Boone and Grace Weatherford, the only two seniors for Coach Orndorff and his squad, and having such a great season of success. Here's a couple of, able to weave your way through a couple of defenders. Ball still in control here for the Chieftains. Deflected, and that'll go out of bounds again. I mean, Dan, we're already just about a couple of minutes into this match, and I think we were already seeing more on the offensive end, a chance to attack for the Chieftains than we did the entire game 9 days ago here against Spring Hill.
Yeah, I tell you, against that Spring Hill team, it was difficult to get it up past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and it definitely was not, it's one of those you want to tip the cap to the defense on the side of Spring Hill. They were phenomenal and really just suffocating. It's really what it felt like all match long. So you give them their kudos, and at that point in an offense for the Chieftains, not necessarily their hallmark, what they're known for this year. It's been more of their defensive play, having the amount of shutout wins and very limited goal opportunities. Again, they've only given up, since we last saw them, that 8-goal loss against Spring Hill. I mean, they only had given up 9 goals to that point. They have 20 coming into today, about even as far as goals scored and goals against. Looking to pick that up here today against a 4-6 struggling Bonner Springs squad. That was Halsa that got tripped up. Play continuing to move along. This is Felton for the Braves. That's kicking it up the way, trying to give it to her teammate. That's Crystal Lopez trying to out-hustle. That's Abigail Blanca running right beside her and not able to catch up to it. So Blanca will throw it in here for the Chieftains right near midfield up on the far sideline. A couple of quick deflections on the far side. It's still going to be finding its way back on the Bonner side of the pitch and a quick move. And here goes Lopez up the far side as it gets knocked away, but it still will be in control of the Braves. Still in the early process of this one. Both teams trying to feel each other out. It was close in the JV matchup. It ended in a 1-1 tie in the 40 minutes we played in the JV game. So if the varsity match is anything like that, we could be in for a pretty long night potentially. It's another picture-perfect day here in Tonganoxie. The weather, it's been gorgeous, maybe a tad bit on the chillier side, but again, it is only April. I know we have been spoiled at times with the weather being a little bit on the warmer side. Had that long week of rainstorms just scattered all throughout the weather. It was last week, a week ago was the NFL draft. I know we had a lot of rain, and especially here in the Tonganoxie area, had a lot of rain. There was a little tornado that touched down, I heard, here in town earlier this week, or maybe over the weekend, but the Tonganoxie split can only do so much, but thankfully everybody was okay, last I heard. But ever since then, the weather has been nice and crisp, and I think it's been some good crisp spring days here the past few days.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's 62 degrees, but we've got a pretty good wind ripping out of the north, which is really making it feel a lot cooler than 62. But it's ideal for playing sports.
Yeah, it's perfect. You're out there running around, getting a sweat on. It feels nice, but for everyone else in attendance, might be already seeing fans bringing some sweaters, some hoodies, maybe a blanket, with them. And as the sun will continue to set, it definitely is going to fall more and more on the chillier side of things. We have a stoppage here as a Brave player. Well, hobble. Naomi Mathis is going to be trotting back over to the sideline as to what the stoppage could be. It stopped at 35 minutes still to go exactly, so just 5 minutes in. Mathis comes out, and in for her is Emily Nigels, number 11, a forward. And Mathis will go right over, talking with Mark Padfield, athletic trainer, looking like some performance tape, whatnot. Maybe just a uniform stoppage, what this could be. Mathis could be back in sooner rather than later. Chieftains trying to get something going, some contact on the far side. No whistles will blow. That's Molly Vogt that tracked it down for the Chieftains. Trying to get into the box, maybe set up a shot perhaps. Here's one that's going to find its way to the goalkeeper. It's Meredith Buildings in the box today for the Braves, wearing the orange jersey. Very fitting. Home with the black and orange, Bonner Springs Braves. Still looking for our first points in this one. The head of steam. They won through 2 defenders. Now a whistle is going to come in. That was good effort by Lily Sanders, who got by a couple of Braves defenders. Draws the whistle.
Is he going to get a free kick here?
That's what it looks like. We're going to set it up at about the 20-yard line. Good opportunity here for the Chieftains. A wall getting formed here for Tongi. Little short line kick towards the middle of that wall. Halsa trying to jimmy around, and it goes out of bounds. Who was it last off of? This could set up a Chieftain corner kick, and it will. Corner kick looming here. Beck to send it in. Rolls it on the ground towards the center. No one able to come away with it yet. Ball still in the potential attacking area. I think that deflection went off of Halsa, so a couple of chances there on that little possession for the Chieftains on the corner kick, the free kick before that, but they come away with no points.
You can kind of hear that wind blowing in our microphones.
You can, yes, blowing
straight out of the north.
Yeah, right on your screen, from left to right on your screen. So something to keep in mind potentially. It's not blowing enough to where if you're kicking to the goal on the right side, on the south side, if you're a directional person, then you might get a little bit of extra carry on it, whereas to the north you might get a little bit of resistance. But to be honest, I'm not sure how much that really has an impact on, unless you get the ball way up into the stratosphere, then, of course that can have an impact. But as far as just kicking it on the goal on a traditional attacking play, I don't know how much that has an effect on. I guess we'll see, but something to keep in mind is, at least in the second half of the match, Tonganoxie will be going towards the wind. Right now they have the wind to their back. Poked away by a couple of Braves defenders. I think one's going to get called for tripping. It looks like that's going to be the case. They'll just throw it in. That'll be Chieftain ball as well. We'll have a substitution looming here for the Chieftains. It's going to be number 18, Grace Weatherford, making her way into the match. There's John Orndorff right there, head coach for the Chieftains, also the head coach of the boys soccer team. Like I mentioned, with the chillier weather, going with the sweatpants and the more heavier winter jacket today. Not super heavy, but enough to
trying to break that wind.
Break the wind, that's exactly it. Along with Weatherford, you also have number 23, Johanna Boone, so the pair of seniors getting ready to come in at the next stoppage for the Chieftains. About 10 minutes into this match. Here come the Chieftains back the other way, stumbling. Back to her feet is Halsa, keeping possession. Trying to thread it up the sideline, maybe to feed it to Molly Vogt, but it goes out of play, being hounded by a couple of Braves defenders. There was Halsa as well. But I'll say last off the Braves, so Evelyn Fox right in front of the bench, going to throw it in. 3-on-1 there, advantage to the Braves. Ball still loose. Good nimbleness there from our official to make sure not to touch the ball. Here's Lagan Caraway fighting for it hard. Now it's taken away. Chieftains just looking for an opportunity. Here's Vaught. And the middle shot on goal is going to go wide. Last attempt by Lily Sanders. And he goes to the left of the goal. So for the Braves, you have Mathis who comes back in, who left earlier with, you're not sure if it was an equipment stoppage or maybe she had some blood, because she does have some tape wrapped around her like left calf, left knee area, but she's back in. And the two seniors, Boone and Weatherford, coming in for Tonganoxie, like we mentioned, as Billings will send a boot in her own end zone, if you will. This has been nearly a mere opposite of the match we saw 9 days ago here against the Spring Hill Broncos, where we spent a lot of time on the offensive end of the pitch here for the Chieftains, where that was not the case against the Broncos in that 8-goal loss, and I think maybe only 2 or 3 legitimate shots on goal the entire match there for the Chieftains. Coming to the near side, deflected there by the Braves and their defense. Fox on it. Getting it to Lily. Lily Sanders back toward midfield. It's into the foot of the Braves. It's Emily Nigels. Originally came in for Mathis after she left the match. Now they both are out there. And now the Braves are going to have a chance here as we dip under 30 to play in this first half. Quick deflection on the throw-in on the far side. Coming back towards the middle. Chieftain defense trying to get it, clear it out. Down to the turf. Coming back the other way are the Braves, looking for another outlet pass, if you will. Now we're going to have a collision. Over there on that far side, a collision, and the officials making the signal to stop the game for a moment. And it looked like
looks like they bumped heads.
Lincoln Caraway looked to be the one for the Chieftains to take it on the collision. The one for the Braves is still down right now. You can see it right here on your screen. I mean, a head of steam too. It is right into one another. Again, didn't get a number on the injured Brave. Caraway for the Chieftains is, I think she was up and okay. They're going to tend to the injured Brave there on the far side of the field. That's Padfield and the staff there, all athletic trainers over at LMH Health. Actually, it wasn't Caraway for the Chieftains. I thought it was. I'm trying to get a read on the number. The Tonganoxie player being escorted by Coach Orndorff back over to the bench. He's okay. And now they get the injured Brave off the pitch too. The clock stopped at 27 minutes 52 seconds as both teams were going to have a injury substitution. For the Chieftains, that was Olivia Butler that went down. Again, she was the one that first popped up, was okay. And for the Braves, it was Naomi Mathis, who had to leave the match once already, and she'll have to do it again on the brunt end of that collision.
She's having a rough first half.
We're so far colliding with Olivia Butler. Both will make their way out of the match right now. Both appear to be okay, walking around on their own power. Again, it was just a simple running full speed at the ball. You collide with each other instead. Not sure if they knocked heads or whatnot, but again, hopefully we will see both of them back into this match very, very soon. Meanwhile, Braves still in control as the clock will continue to run again. Approaching 27 and a half. Still plenty of time left in this first half as we're looking for our first goal. Up and ahead, but no Brave around. Chieftains trying to clear out. Now let the numbers game catch up to them. That's Bailey Weist for the Braves on the far side. Was fighting hard for that last ball. Trying to find it to Weist again. Able to get a foot on it. Now she finds Nigels. Here come the Braves with a potential opportunity, but good defense on that quick deflection, shutting anything down there. That was nicely done by Evelyn Fox, the one that came over. As for sure, you think that ball gets by her, then the Braves have a very high chance of at least getting a shot on goal, if not taking a 1-0 lead. Hustle lob down the turf, and oh, how about this? With the goal empty, but it's a deflection.
Goalkeeper took a real chance coming that far out of the box.
They did. Collided with Nilgis for the Braves. They collided with one another. The ball was loose, and that had the door open for the Chieftains, just unable to capitalize on it. They had the shot on goal, and it gets by one defender. Again, it's 1-0, but that was not the case. So Johnny on the spot to the Braves defender that was right there to get a clean deflection on it, no handball. And an early moment in this match that we can star and look back on potentially as one of the better scoring opportunities that arguably these two teams are going to see all night. Now it's set up the way to Weiss. She's going to track it down on the far side for Bonner Springs. Stops, cuts it back to the center. They'll just had a chance. It's cleared out once again by Evelyn Fox. Olivia Butler is back and ready to sub back into the match for the Chieftains, which is very encouraging to see. Again, with all the injuries you've had to deal with this year, you cannot afford to lose any more bodies as you're about to put it into the regular season and go into postseason play. Want to keep everybody healthy, be as full strength as possible going into the winning month, as I like to call it, in May.
Yeah, you need your best players on the pitch.
Up on the right side, shot, and it's off the side of the net for Nilgis.
Substitutions to the Chieftains. Number 12, Reese
And on cue, you'll have Butler coming in, as well as, I think, Reese Eckenstein. Number 12 and number 13 for the Chieftains back on the pitch. As both teams in the span of the last 5 minutes have had legitimate shots on goals. One for the Chieftains deflected, that one for the Braves into the side of the net over on the right side.
Bonner Springs done a little better job of staying on offense.
So far in the 20 minutes portion of this first half, it has belonged to the Braves after the first 10 belonged to the Chieftains. Fox to clear out again, and she does. Quick ricochet. That was Macy Kofer for the Braves that got a boot on it. And the Chieftains will at least clear it out once again. Vogel to track it down the far side. He'll just let that one go. And with everything as we get deeper and closer into postseason play, this spring sports season in general has the potential to go down as one of the most memorable and most thrilling spring sports season in Tonganoxie High School history, with the girls soccer team, like I mentioned, currently number 3 in classes 4 through 1As. They definitely would be having some home field advantage once the playoffs roll around. And then, of course, softball is in the top 10 in class 4A in softball, and not too far out, things can still go their way, and they could even climb all the way up to the 4 seed potentially and get some home sub-state action happening out at the Leavenworth County Fairgrounds. That would be a lot of fun. And of course, baseball, you can never count out baseball. They always seem to
find a
whether
way.
They're the favorites or not, they always seem to find a way to just get into the dance, led by Coach Loomis, of course, both baseball and softball. Casey Loomis, head coach for softball and baseball. Of course, Mitch Loomis has been the longtime head coach for the Chieftains for the last decade plus.
Shout out to Mitch and his crew for getting a unplayable field playable.
We had the game. It was last Friday, and of course I had mentioned it was a week ago today where those rainstorms came through the area. And thankfully, everybody in town was okay. And the result of that the next morning was, standing water in the infield and the outfield there at baseball.
Yeah, they started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they were still working on it at 6 o'clock before first pitch. So 11 hours straight working on that.
And it resulted, it made it worth it, a 12-2 win over the Casey Turner Golden Bears. It was a successful Friday night baseball game for the Chieftains, getting a home win. We'll see them coming up next in our final regular season spring sports broadcast on May 12th, as they'll have a doubleheader at home against the Rock Creek Mustangs.
That should be a good one.
It should be a great one. Currently, Rock Creek, the number 2 team in 4A in baseball, so taking on the Chieftains, which, hey, if things could work out, they could be one of the 4 teams that are in the same sub-state grouping, or potentially if they get to the state tournament, they could see each other in the quarterfinals, or what. You never know. But
nope.
To have a caliber of that kind of matchup in May and the end of the regular season, it's something you don't see very often. One of the big reasons why it was selected as one of our 6 spring sports broadcasts this regular season. Pass up and away. Billings comes out again, secures it with both hands that time. As we're about halfway through this first half, and we're still scoreless, 0-0, 0-0, if you will. I got to get that into my head. Of course, any other sport, it's 0-0 or no score, but I know here in soccer they prefer to call it 0-0. You know what they say, Denny? When in Rome, right?
Yes.
That's how it is.
Absolutely.
It's not a field, it's a pitch. It's not 0-0, it's 0-0.
It's not a uniform, it's a kit.
It's a kit, yes.
It's not cleats, it's boots.
Yeah, kudos to you for being up to knowledge on that. I wasn't even sure if you knew what a kit was or not. And another penalty going to be tacked here against the Braves. This will set up another free kick for the Chieftains.
See if they can take advantage here.
To put a boot into it. Towards the goal in the top corner, and it ricochets off the post.
That was
oh
close.
My goodness, that was incredibly close, and Billings is going to dive on top of it. Holy cow, that was just off the top corner of the post.
Very close.
Oof.
It's the best shot on goal we've had.
So far. Approaching 19 to go. This one, no one's going to catch up to it. It's out of play. And now go to the Braves.
And, of course, the U.S. is going to host some of the World Cup games this year.
Yes.
I guess those tickets are pretty rare and pricey.
It definitely has been a topic of discussion as far as the general ticket pricing.
Yeah.
And, of course, if memory serves me right, the grouping that's here in Kansas City, there's either Argentina or Portugal. It's one of the two. I don't believe it's both. It's either one of the two, I do think, because that, of course, means if Team Argentina, you get Lionel Messi, of course, one of the greatest players of all time, and arguably the other one in that conversation, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's with Team Portugal. So that is some massive superstar power coming not only just to North America and the United States, but potentially here in Kansas City. Again, I'm not.
Boy, if you could get a match when they play each other, that would really be something.
That would be one of the. It's not, obviously LeBron and Jordan played in different eras, but considered two of the greatest. When anyone asks you who's to go to basketball, usually it's those two that are thrown out more often than not. It's kind of that same thing with soccer. You get Ronaldo versus Messi. That's a match. If you have a chance to do it,
I'll date myself.
It's right there.
I'll date myself and tell you the most famous soccer player I can remember growing up is Pele.
Is Pele, yeah.
He was known for the bicycle kick.
Yeah, the Pele kick. Little curler here. Billings has it, lost it, dives on top of it. I think you and I, we kind of have put ourselves out for our fairly minimal soccer, the broader soccer knowledge, at least there, just with that last little. I'm sure there might be some fans screaming at us through their screens of like, but nonetheless, the World Cup being here, especially in Kansas City, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Of course, the Hunt family was,
experience.
they were very instrumental in getting it here.
Oh, yes. And just soccer here in
general.
Kansas City, like you mentioned, bringing the Wizards, now Sporting Kansas City. Got a soccer team down in Texas, too, I believe. I don't know if it's FC Dallas or FC Houston or Dallas is probably going to be the safe bet there with the Dallas roots in the Hunt family. If I'm not mistaken, too, big part of the arena soccer team, the Comets out in, I believe, Independence, a big part of helping bring that in, too. Very big on, of course, you think of Clark Hunt, Lamar Hunt, the Hunt family, you're going to think of the Chiefs, you're going to think of the AFL, all that, but very instrumental in soccer, too.
Well, and the Mahomes, they brought the women's soccer team.
Yes, KC Current.
The Current. Got a nice complex in Kansas City.
Oh, it's beautiful. They're on the riverside. Ride the tram down. When I went to a Current game, they didn't have the tram set up yet where it went all the way down there. I think it took you to maybe the market, and then you hopped on a bus, and they shuttled you down there. But it's a beautiful stadium. It's a lot of fun, too. Soccer is one of the sports, for me personally, I can watch it at home if it's on the level of like a World Cup final or a World Cup match because, those are the best of the best out there. But if I got to watch a match, I want to do it in person, particularly at the professional level because with all the chants and everything, the atmosphere, it's totally different than anything else you go to. And I know that's what I always heard growing up, and it was just like, well, how different can it be? You going to Allen Fieldhouse, home of the Jayhawks and Lawrence, and then the Arrowhead, home of the Chiefs in Kansas City, and it's like, those are two of the best arena stadium experiences in the entire world. But you go to a Sporting KC match, and it's like, I get it. You go to a Current match, and it's, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand what it is. All are great in their own separate thing.
Can't beat it in person, though.
Can't beat it in person. Just Kansas City sports in general, looping in the college teams, too. It's there's a lot of great atmospheres here, that's for sure.
Yeah, the KU baseball team's making noise this spring.
How about it? In the top 25, one of the leaders in the Big 12.
They beat Oklahoma State not long ago, and they're a perennial powerhouse.
In the center, off the deflection, that goes wide of the goal. It's Olivia Butler getting her right in there on that quick deflection. Yeah, sometime I definitely want to make my way out to Lawrence and try to attend a home KU baseball game. Used to be they would give tickets away to go to a KU baseball game. Not the case anymore.
Well, before not that many years ago, they were trying to give away football tickets, but that's changed.
That's changed too, definitely, with the new stadium project, the new booth, if you will. Which, by the way, also a beautiful stadium. It's not even done yet. It's already very beautiful. I will say, for folks that maybe if you haven't had a chance to go out there and like you're used to going to Royals games, you're used to going to Chiefs games, if you go to a Kansas football game at the new stadium, if you get into that upper bowl at least, very steep.
Yes.
It feels very steep.
Yes.
You're not going to tumble, but there is a little bit of an incline difference of like, ooh, this is a little different, but it's, they structured it. Again, there's not really a bad seat. You can be all the way up in the very top row, and you feel like you're right there on top of them in the field. It's great all the way around. I can't wait to see it done, too. It's amazing. Arguably, one of my favorite touches about it was the stadium lights and how they kind of look like stalks of wheat.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I thought that was a nice touch.
Nice job dribbling there.
There you go, yeah. Megan Caraway doing everything she can. Two subs, it's Halsa and Weatherford. Rapid substitutions continuing here for Coach O. Might have one coming in here late for the Braves or two. Or they're going to make them wait till the next stoppage. It'll be Blanca to throw it in. Final 12 of the first half, still 0-0. Sanders trying to dribble around, had it poked away for a moment. It was initially over the head of one of the other captains, Lily Beck, that's out there too. Here come the Braves on the other end. Rapid maneuvering there from Lopez, still fighting hard as Lopez.
Yeah, she's doing
with a chance.
good
Centering
job.
pass, this could be trouble, but Brewer comes out and scoops it up. Had a couple of different options at Lopez there as far as teammates in the area, but led it just a little too far ahead. Didn't have a super wide window to put that pass through either. But great job for Brewer coming out, scooping it up with both hands.
She read that pretty well.
Yes. Good clear out again. It's been the story all season long. Some really good defensive plays, moments put up here by the Chieftains. Definitely one of their calling cards. Ooh, off the noggin.
Yeah.
It's Avery Smith that took the brunt of that last deflection, but I mean, not even acting like it didn't even happen. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't even flinch really. Up and ahead, not quite deep enough for the goalkeeper to come out and Brewer, but it'll be kicked out of bounds instead. That was Lopez for the Braves that, again, was trying to make something happen here, as 3 substitutions are going to come in for Bonner.
Get some fresh legs on the pitch.
Yeah, and I just realized we have 2 Avery Smiths. We got number 27 for Tongi, Avery Smith, and then number 11, who just checked back into the match for Bonner, Avery Smith. So I can't recall too many times where we've called a game here on Tongi Sports Live, and we've had 2 players with the exact same name, first and last name, out on the playing field at the same time. Also can't quite handle that as it goes out of bounds. Under 10 to go in this first half before we head to halftime, where we break down this first half and more coming up in the White Birch Property Realty Executives halftime show. I'll give you our thoughts, analysis, keys to a win in the second half here for the Chieftains. All that and more, again, at the White Birch Property Realty Executives halftime show, less than 9.5 minutes away. Chieftains would love nothing more to go into the locker room with a 1-0 lead. There have been opportunities for both teams in this first half. Some legitimate shots on goal. Some good defense has been made. But still, we sit here with goose eggs all across that scoreboard. Now under 9 to go. Right here on the near sideline, fighting hard for this ball, and cleared up and ahead by Lily Sanders. Nobody home for the Chieftains, so Billings comes out and brings it in, gives it a nice little dribble. Getting ready to set before she boots it away. Sanders again playing pesky defense there for the Chieftains. Easy to track. The bright neon shoes, or boots if you will, Denny.
There's another facial. She took it right in the face.
You're going to come out and make sure that she's okay. Clock stopped. 8 minutes, 9 seconds to go.
Well, it'll make your eyes water, that's for sure.
Is that it? Yeah, I believe that was Avery Smith again.
No.
So the first one, she was able to
shrug
off, no problem. This time, not quite the case. I mean, it helped off by Coach O.
I don't see any blood, so that's a good thing.
No, I just want to make sure that she's okay. Again, the only thing that I can relate this to is like playing soccer and team sports or PE, whatever you want to call it, in high school. And out there playing with, soccer players, I always think of the Hughesmans out there, Zeb and Gad. And
oh, yeah, they were good.
I took a boot to the face by one of them, and it does not feel good. Even in PE, out on the actual on the pitch, it does not feel good by any means. It just happens, and there's a hard sting to your face, and It happening not once but twice in this first half to Avery Smith. They help her out over to the bench. Again, just making sure she's okay, and she's giving the thumbs up to Coach O and to Pat Field, the trainers, to say, I'm okay. So, again, we'll expect to see her back in a little bit of time.
Corner kick for the Braves. Coming up.
Towards the middle, cluster of bodies, and cleared out momentarily by Tongi. Late pressure there by Sanders. Here she is again. Just Lily Sanders, a sophomore, all over the place here. Here she is with it, trying to lead it up and away. Here she comes.
Nicely done.
Caraway on the left side. Numbers here for the Chieftains. Shot off the hands of Billings, and she collects it on the ricochet. And I'll tell you, that play tremendously set up by the hustle of Caraway up on the far side.
Yeah, no question about it.
And all of a sudden, it turned into a numbers game for the Chieftains. And again, just for Billings, a good deflection with the hands and able to get it off of that. You feel like it's just a matter of moments. You know, we've had on both sides so close to getting a shot into the net, and you figure before long the bowels are going to break, and here we go. And it could potentially be right here. Threads the needle up and away, kicking it up ahead. Brewer comes out. Also on the defense, they get tripped up. And Brewer with the ball. No whistles.
No call.
And a nice defensive play made here by the Chieftains, as that looked like it could have been a massive scoring chance for Bonner. Ooh. The Braves bench was asking out to our officials of how does that not warrant any kind of call, any kind of stoppage, but now under 6 to go until halftime, and it's been back-to-back. Both teams looking like they had prime opportunities but come up empty. Teams fighting for it near midfield, out of play. We got a throw in here for the Braves. Approaching the 5-minute mark left to go in this first half. It's Coach Orndorff and Coach Riley. Both head coaches sharing a little talk here right in midfield. You don't see that all too often between two head coaches in the middle of a sporting event. Usually talking before or after it's all said and done, but rarely in between. Talking like a couple of friends catching up.
Yeah, sometimes in college basketball you'll see that coaches. That's a pretty small universe. If you're a head coach at a D1 school,
you will definitely. And even here at the high school level, these coaches always seem to know one another, branching out.
Sure.
There's not necessarily, you hear it all the time, especially with Andy Reid, like the coaching tree where they kind of branch off. It's not necessarily to that, but through all your times of coaching, you cross paths with one another, and then you both are at different schools, and then you see each other there. I'm sure it possibly could be the case here with Coach Riley and Coach O. About 4 to go. This one going to be cleared down once again by the Chieftains. Abigail Blanca getting the boot on it.
Sad bit of news hearing that the wrestling coach, Coach Delich, has taken another position down in Oklahoma.
Well, happy for Coach Delich. For
no question about it.
Definitely for the Tonganoxie wrestling fans.
They have been a powerhouse under his leadership.
Oh, and cleared out here. That could have been really bad as Brewer came out of the box actually and got behind her. Heads up defense again. But yeah, of course, we wish Coach Delich the best of luck going down to Oklahoma, taking another high school wrestling job down there, and he will be sorely missed here at Tonganoxie High School. Make no mistake about it.
No.
Has coached multiple state champions, also a two-time team state champion winner with the Chieftains boys wrestling team. Instrumental in getting the girls wrestling program started up too, and Coach Adam Ludwin has taken off with that, and he's ran with it. They had a team state title 2 years ago. And I haven't seen if there's been anybody new to fill the spot of Coach Delich, whether if they're going to stay in-house with Coach Ludwin or if they go out of house. But one thing's for certain, some pretty big shoes to fill in that head coaching spot.
Yeah, that's going to be
on the boys' side.
That's going to be a tough job to do.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. This Chieftain Wrestling program, all the way back through. It's been a very proud program, and finally, when Coach Delich was hired, he was the one to finally take it to the program that was always so close to the program that was the constant powerhouse in multi-time state championships in Class 4A. And I'll be very anxious to see who they bring in next, who will even try to take the program into the next steps beyond that.
Well, I know the Tonganoxie wrestling program. I remember in the 70s, I'll date myself again, they never had a individual state champion or a team state champion until his tenure.
Yep. And that was all the way. We're talking Delich taking over. It was Jeremy Goebel before that. And
Goebel did a good job.
Goebel did a tremendous job. You talk about multiple regional champions, league champions, state placers. As this one gets by Billings, and it's still going to be wide of the goal. My goodness. Final 90 coming up here. But Delich taking over in the late 2010s, and he got his first state champion in the March of 2019. It was Corbin Riedel that did it.
Yep.
And then Corbin Riedel went back-to-back in the same season that following year as Connor Searcy won a state championship. And, it just felt like the dam had broke from there. Every year somebody was a state champion or a top two placer at state. And then the team championships started rolling in here in the 2020s. Of course, with the last one coming just a few months ago, this past season, along with a couple of individual state champions as well, including Brady Martin. I believe Stella Bradley also a state champion on the girls' side, too. Something to keep an eye on. Again, Coach Brett Delich, he will be sorely missed, but we do wish him and his family all the best of luck as they go on to their new chapter down in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Oklahoma is a powerhouse state for wrestling.
It's a good hotbed here in the state of Kansas too, and around the metro area. But yeah, in Oklahoma, it's it's kind of like it's like football down in Texas.
Yeah, it really is.
We love our high school football up here, but down in Texas, it's like its own religion.
Yeah, no question about it.
It's kind of the same with wrestling in Oklahoma.
Right, you go through that Dallas Metroplex, and high schools have stadiums that look like college stadiums.
Some are better than some college.
Yeah, some of them are better.
Last second shot on goal! Oh, how about that? Wow. How about that to wrap up the first half?
Talk about a buzzer beater.
Oh, are they going to say no goal?
Oh, they're going to say no time or what?
Correction. Referee says no goal.
Oh, no!
Why not? You're going to have to go get an explanation on that. Maybe time had run out before she kicked it.
0-0.
Huh.
So
now would be a great time to go over to
another look here. Caraway with 3, with 2. So in soccer, again, the goal, it has to go into the goal before time expires. It has to go into the back of the net before time expires.
Okay, so it's not like basketball, it leaves the hand or the foot.
Right. Because, again, if she gets the boot off, there's a second and a half on the clock, so that's not it. They're going to say that it did not get to the back of the net until there were all zeros, so no goal. Oh, my goodness, that is – talk about tenths of a second away from one of the great all-time highlights here on Tongi Sports Live. And instead, we go into our White Birch Property Realty Executives halftime show, still tied at 0. We'll break it down for you when we return.
For a winning team, contact White Birch Properties, the real estate MVPs.
Tonganoxie is the ideal location to start a business. That's why the Tonganoxie Business Association has strived towards a common goal of adding value to businesses and the community since 2015. They assist in providing improved services for customers and visitors, encouraging and enhancing businesses, and preserving historical and cultural assets. Follow them on Instagram for the latest and upcoming event information and become a member today by visiting their website, TonganoxieBusinessAssociation.com. Proud supporters of Chieftain Athletics.
The Tonganoxie Recreation Commission is committed to creating community through parks, people, and programs. And now, with their all-new activity center, the Tonganoxie Rec Commission can do even more. Tongi Rec understands the benefits reaped through recreation are endless. Tongi Rec has a long list of classes, activities, and programs for the young and young at heart. For program pricing and schedules, call 913-845-3502. Visit them at the all-new activity center at the Tonganoxie High West campus or go to tongirec.org.
Family-owned and operated Wizard of Paws is a fifth-generation business located in the heart of downtown Tonganoxie. The professionally trained staff takes pride in making every dog and cat look its best, whether it be to breed-specific trim or an adorable, cute pet trim. Plus, their facility offers amenities in space that are doggone amazing. Call Wizard of Paws to make your appointment at 913-416-0255 or visit them at 406 East 4th Street in Tonganoxie. Learn more at wizardofpawstongi.com.
Your one stop for beauty and relaxation. That's the Beauty Bar Salon and Spa in downtown Tonganoxie, offering services for men's and women's haircuts, facial waxing, tanning, makeup, bridal services, and more. Their team is dedicated to providing a memorable experience for each guest. From vibrant styles and colors to soothing massages, they have everything you need to look and feel amazing. To make an appointment, call 913-347-2957 or visit them at 414 East 4th Street in Tonganoxie.
You're watching the White Birch Property Realty Executives Halftime Show. White Birch Properties and their team is ready to help you buy or sell that next house and lead you to success in the real estate game. Visit them at 1203 State Avenue, Suite B in Tonganoxie, Kansas, or call 913-417-1007. And we got no score right now, 0-0 between the Chieftains and the Bonner Springs Braves. And here's one more look at the last play we had in the first half. It was Lagan Caraway. She's going to take the shot here from about 18 yards away, 28 yards to be exact, actually, the back of the end zone. It goes in, but the officials come in as the celebration was going on. Again, one more look. It said no goal as that ball was not into the net. If she gets that off literally 0.2 of a second quicker, we're looking at a 1-0 halftime score right now. But instead, they waved it off. It's a 0-0 and a little bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a flat note or a sour note in the first half.
A little disappointing.
A little disappointing, definitely. You thought you had the goal. Instead, it's not. Would have been good from 28 yards away from Lagan Caraway. But we're still here at 0-0. And I said it a couple of times in that first half. This has been a mirror opposite of what we saw just 9 days ago when we were here. We saw this Chieftain team last. They're battling hard against the Braves right now, who they themselves, 4-6, might not look very impressive on paper, but they did come off a win against Ottawa their last time out. And right now, I mean, we're 40 minutes in. This is still anybody's matchup right now.
Oh, no question about it. Still got a half of a match to play.
Taking on this Chieftain squad, again, little riddled with injuries right now. That is to say the least for Coach Orndorff's squad, and still battling here against Bonner, trying to gut out this win. And that was a first half filled where both teams had their shots on goals, definitely had their opportunities. There were a couple of timely deflections, good clear outs on the back line defense for both sides, and even a chance. I remember the one for the Chieftains where it was their goalkeeper collided with one of the players at the field, and for Tongi, if they're right there on top of it, get the quick kickoff, it's 1-0 because it was an empty box. But instead, the ball kind of trickled away just far enough. By the time they kicked it, it allowed a Brave defender to get up and get a deflection. And same thing on the Chieftain side, where Lauren Brewer kind of got caught up in a crowd and action was happening behind her. But I think it was Evelyn Fox that was there to clear it out as she came up with the timely defense. And that's been it's kind of been the word here, strong defense here in this first half. I expect it to continue on into the second half. Still scoreless here. And this is a massive matchup here in the Frontier League. Chieftains looking to get a win, get back to their winning ways as they continue to get back to full strength. Meanwhile, the Braves trying to go back-to-back and put themselves right into the mix for potential contention just in Class 5A, trying to get themselves out of the cellar after a very poor start to the season. But if they can finish strong going into postseason play, that could be enough to project them to a potential run. We got more coming up here in the second half between the Braves and the Chieftains here on Tonganoxie Sports Live. Have you heard of Genesis Schools? Teaching students in preschool through 5th grade in Tonganoxie, Genesis offers smaller class sizes, individualized instruction, and a Christian worldview. Their mission is to exalt Christ by teaching and reinforcing biblical truths while producing well-rounded, educated young people who are equipped to serve God and others. For enrollment and tuition information, call 913-845-9498 or online at genesisschools.org.
More toppings, more taste, more value. Gambino's Pizza. You're gonna love it. Taste mouth-watering flavors in our new chicken bacon ranch pizza. Bring a crowd to feast on our 11 toppings mobster pizza. Pizzas with quality meats and a 100% real cheese, like our triple tasty seasoned sausage cravers pizza. Try favorites like pastas, calzones, sandwiches, appetizers, salads, and desserts. More toppings, more taste, more value. Gambino's Pizza. You're gonna love it.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
The same look and location of a classic drugstore with the services and supplies of a modern pharmacy. That's what you'll find at the Downtown Drug Store in Tonganoxie. Of course, Downtown Drug is the local choice for your prescriptions and health needs, but did you know they have the best selection of Tonganoxie Pride and Chieftain game day gear in town? And a whole lot more. Cards, gifts, home decor, and even the best way to satisfy that sweet tooth. The Downtown Drug Store. Call 913-369-3800 or visit them online at thedowntowndrugstore.com.
Families and business owners have trusted Mutual Savings Association for over 100 years. They offer checking accounts, online banking, personal and business loans, investment planning, insurance and retirement plans, and so much more. Their team specializes in creating a financial plan that is tailor-made to your needs to help you achieve your financial goals. Visit one of their 6 nearby locations, including downtown Tonganoxie, or visit their website msa.bank to learn more. Member FDIC.
Has your furnace left you out in the cold? Pipes plugged? Are you underwater with your water heater? If so, you'll be glad you called Ladd. Ladd Service Company in Tonganoxie has been your heating, cooling, and plumbing specialist since 1986. Ladd is your dealer for top quality brands like York, Aprilaire, and Wolverine Brass. Plus, they maintain and service all other brands. Schedule your appointment by calling 913-369-3509. Visit laddserviceco.com to see why you'll be glad you called Ladd. Midwest Chiropractic Center is a friendly and caring clinic providing comprehensive care for your chiropractic, rehabilitative, and fitness needs. Upon entering one of our offices, you are treated like family. The staff cares about your health, and their approach to care proves it. With 3 locations in Tonganoxie, Lansing, and Bonner Springs, plus some Saturday hours, Midwest Chiropractic Center is dedicated to offering affordable, gentle chiropractic care. Midwest Chiropractic Center, getting you back to active.
Wrapping up our coverage here, White Birch Property Realty Executives halftime show. In fact, we're going to go move right along into the start of the second half. Still scoreless between the Chieftains and the Braves here. Dylan Funk and Dennis Drennan enjoying a crisp, breezy Thursday evening here at Tonganoxie High School, and the final 40 minutes to decide a potential winner in this one, as Caraway has it taken from her right out of the gates. They'll just leading it up and away, trying to track it down. Braves coming out uber aggressive as there's a little brief collision there. As players get up, make sure everybody's okay.
No whistle.
No whistle, yep. I know soccer, it is the sport where think it's been conditioned in a lot of people's minds where as soon as you just see any contact like that or somebody tumbled down to the turf, you're waiting for the whistle, you're waiting for that flag on the far side to come out, just anything like that. But there are legal, clean ways to knock the ball away. If you happen to trip up the ball dribbler on that particular instance, then so be it. You can't do it. I'd say for the most part here tonight, this officiating crew, I think they've let them play for the most part. There's been definitely some times where there's been some contact, and when it becomes excessive, they come in, they bring a stoppage. Seen a couple of free kicks, but I think for the most part out there, letting them play in. Braves looking to strike early, and the field goal is just off to the right. Wide right. Some of the most cursed words you will ever hear if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Oh, Scott Norwood, and then just a couple of years ago when the Chiefs played them in the playoffs, they had their, my goodness, I can't remember his name now, but he also went wide right. Nonetheless, another throw-in coming in here. And for the Braves, sending it in is Vogel. Chieftains got a piece, goes out of bounds, and I think we'll just do it again. No, we'll actually say last off Bonner Springs. Chieftain Athletics tonight presented in part by the Tonganoxie Public Library. Why pay for downloadable audiobooks when you can stream them for free with a Tonganoxie Library card? Download the Libby app or visit the library's website to learn more, and also by First Security Bank, your locally owned community bank at Tonganoxie. Stop by and meet their friendly staff today at 415 Stone Creek Drive. First Security Bank, proud supporters of Chieftain Athletics. Tell you what, with all the better part of the last year or two coming in to do all these broadcasts coming out of Kansas City, Kansas, Denny, I can't help but notice the continuing development of that whole Stone Creek Drive development on the far east side of town, if you will. All those new homes that have been going up and up and up. I think they're working on 2-story houses now that they're putting in.
Yeah, they're putting them up quick too.
They are. Crazy. I had friends in school, the Hammonds always come to mind, that just lived not quite in that neighborhood, but their house was right over there. And I mean, it was nothing but just fields over there where all those houses are going up, and it just looks completely different now. But that's part of life, I guess. And as time goes on, the houses go up, and things just always look different. So yeah, on that same side of town, there's I can't tell what exactly it is going up.
Yeah, I saw that on the way in.
Lot. Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is.
There's some rumors, whisperings around town perhaps, that it's going to be a new Casey's gas station, which if I had $1 for every time I've heard new Casey's in Tonganoxie, I would have about 4 or 5, I think. There's been multiple.
Well, there's one on,
Casey's.
On the west side of town.
Yeah, like you're heading out to Lawrence, and there's that one there. Of course, where LAB's is now. That used to be where Casey's was before. And then right across that, where the I don't think it was a Casey's. I think it was either a Phillips 66 or a BP maybe, but where like the ceramic, like not a tombstone place, but they make like the stone sculptures and all that. Like that used to be a gas station too.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, might be another one coming to town. I don't know. We'll see. That lot that's just been open there on the southeast corner out there by the intersection where Fast Tracks and all that is, it's been open forever. And I've always said I've been surprised that no one's ever put anything there, that no one's ever bought that lot and tried to put up a business or something. And somebody finally has. Somebody's finally taken my advice, I guess. Town of Tonganoxie just continues to grow and grow. New places popping up everywhere. Corner kick here for the Braves. To do the honors will be Macy Kofer. Feel like we're primed for our first goal in this match anytime now. Here comes in the middle off a deflection. This is a cluster. But the last place Lauren Brewer wants it to be, the goalkeeper for the Chieftains. It's Caraway that got put to the ground again, and whistles do come in. That'll be against the Braves. Everyone will clear out and head back to the other end of the field. Neither team just willing to give in. Maneuvering around, Butler. Saw her leave the game in the first half after having a collision going after a loose ball. She's able to shake it off. She's been back out there for the better part of the match after. The ball boy's definitely getting in his workout tonight.
Yeah, no
Little man
question.
has been running all over the place.
Good training for soccer. There's a lot of running.
Yeah, it is. I think I saw for some of the pros after a full match, they can run close to like 10 miles in a match.
Really?
Or something like it's something crazy like that. Maybe that could be on a really extreme case. I don't know what the actual average is, but I would believe it.
Yeah, they're always on the move.
It's constant. You're going. At least, in baseball, in football, you have your quick burst movements that you need. You're not necessarily like in long distance. Maybe if you're a receiver trying to take it to the house for 80 yards, of course on that. But for the most part, it's those quick interval bursts of maybe 5-10 yards, and not really the case here in soccer. It's continuous.
Yeah.
You got to have your cardio, your conditioning. It has to be really top notch to be successful at it too. It's got to be well up there. Is about the best you can get it. Like it's soccer, it's basketball, hockey too. It's just like constant movement, always going, rarely ever any stoppage.
Got to get your cardio working if you're going to play those sports.
For sure. Speaking of hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs been happening right now. NBA playoffs going on this too, but I love the Super Bowl. I love the NFL playoffs. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but right there at second, I'm honestly between the MLB postseason and the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they're right up there. As Brewer's going to get on top of that header attempt. If you had to make me choose, I probably would pick MLB postseason just because of I remember how awesome it was when your team's in contention. That's where it's, and I don't have of course, not a team here in Kansas City for hockey, so every game's just fun, but nothing quite like when your team is playing in Game 6 of an ALCS or Game 5 of the clinching World Series and watching and hanging on to every pitch, every at-bat, every out on the edge of your seat. It's pretty rare. Pretty awesome stuff. Makes for good TV.
You're holding your breath on every pitch.
Yeah. And a crowd, whatever sport it is, if it's a Game 7, I'm in. Game 7s are the best.
Yeah, ESPN did a documentary on Game 7s.
It's one of the only things that can really enhance for some will say, for the football postseason is that if you can have it to where it's like a best of 3, which, that would be one of the longest postseasons ever to do it properly. That would just take months and months. And I know hockey, that it starts in April and ends in June, that could take a while too. But if the NFL, can you imagine if the NFL did that starting in January? They had the play, wild card was one, and then the divisional round was like best of 3. And same with the AFC Championship and then the Super Bowl. We'd be still playing right now,
no
arguably.
question.
Maybe not quite, but it would just take forever. I don't see how that would ever happen. But what I always say to that is that, every playoff game in the NFL, it is like a Game 7 because it's win or go home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's winner take all. So that's what makes it so great. You don't get to have an off game and then get to say, well, we can get them back, even the series up in a couple of nights. And believe me, I've I've been on both sides, of course, as a Chiefs fan, where it's been, I wish we had a second chance because we should have won that game and we end up losing in miserable fashion. And, of course, we've had it with the Super Bowl years here as of the better part of the last decade. So
I saw today where the March Madness is expanding to 74 teams. More and more money.
At this point, any of the Division I schools, just have it. Bring them all in. I thought 68 was perfect. I think it was good enough, but I don't know. Yeah, money. That's
all
what
about
it is,
money
for sure. Eventually, as we'll have a stoppage here, and this is going to set up a free kick here for the Braves. Eventually, I think it's going to get to a point where you're going to start seeing like the number 1 seeds get buys. You're going to have stuff like that going to be happening. College athletics is just, I wish it could go back to the good old days. And I'm not saying that I don't like the athletes getting paid or whatever. I wish there were more guardrails for it, though. That's what I do wish for.
Yeah.
The transfer portal and all that stuff. Wish there was a little more guardrailing on it, that's all.
Well, I mean, it's just you have a new team every year. I mean, it's not like in the old days.
Good sprawl out attempt by Lauren Brewer. But you're 100% right. It's free agency every single offseason for all college athletic teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they implemented that NIL before they really had enough guidelines in place to deal with all the mess.
I agree. Sanders, high in the air. That's going to land out of bounds. The deflection, Coach. I'm going to say that's going to be Braves ball. Coach O, like I would be, is trying to argue that it was deflected, which it definitely was. Who it last off was, of course, there's not, instant replay these guys can look at, slow-mo, multiple camera angles, so they go with the call on the field, as it normally would be. About 27 to go in regulation. And we're still at 0-0. Throw in and going to be headed right back out. Ball boy, go get it, man.
Busy boy today.
He's on top of it, though. He's going to sleep good tonight. Here's another ball boy. It's on the far side of the field, too, and rarely has he been able to track down any balls on the far side. If anything's going out of bounds, it's here on the near side, going out onto the track near the fence or in the stands. Luck of the draw, I guess.
No, this is redundant.
I'll throw it in, you kick it out. That's how. That time it was brave on brave there. That'll be Chieftain ball. That allows both teams to make some substitutions, including Grace Weatherford in for Gemma Halsa or Tonganoxie. Matchup of two evenly matched teams to this point. And again, with the Braves, if they come out with a win, of course, everyone's going to be crying upset, which, looking at the records, overall standings, yes, it will be. But when you look at the amount of injuries, the amount of key players that are not on the pitch tonight for the Chieftains, it can help maybe read into it a little bit. Has to for the same thing. Chieftains can get a win here. It's going to be a hard-earned win, and for a team that's shorthanded, one that they needed, as stumbling there. Still a little slow to get up. That was Weatherford, as Ligon Caraway was trying to make something happen up on the far side, and something to keep an eye on as Weatherford has got a noticeable limp. Probably going to have to ask her way out of the match potentially. That hobbling a little bit on that right leg. You'll see her walking into your camera frame here in a moment as things will come to a stop here for a moment. It'll be offside on the Braves, so I think Coach O was just asking Grace there, do you need to come out? She kind of waved him off, said, I just need to walk it off for a little bit, and she's going to stay out there, and all is good. Sanders for the boot on this, a line drive that skips at the 25, rolls all the way up near the 40. Molly Vogt able to handle it. It's taken away. That was Mathis for the Braves. Return. Chieftains outnumbered there for the time being as it'll be cleared back to the Braves side of the pitch. Here comes Sanders. Late touch there at the end as Mathis applied some pressure, and that'll be out on Sanders, they say. Rapid throw in. Braves wasting very little time. That's Nova Lindsay, number 3, that tried to handle that header last time for the Braves, but it didn't quite work out. As Vogt will be subbed out for the Chieftains, Gabby Garza will check in her place. Caraway and Garza both in the same area there for the Chieftains. Or Weatherford, rather. Trying to feed it to her right here near midfield. Taken away by Sanders. Caraway crossing it up, almost able to shake off Felton, but able to stick with it. Now Felton comes away with it from Caraway. Caraway with pressure from behind. Felton clearing it up and away. No one's going to be able to run it down for Bonner. Closest to it is Abigail Blanca for the Chieftains as she lets it go out of bounds, and possession will change. Braylon Morris, number 25, will check in for Bonner. She will replace Macy Kofer. Approaching the halfway mark of the second half. Still goose eggs. Here's Caraway, who was seconds away, tenths of seconds away from a potential buzzer-beating goal in the first half. Here she is with a head of steam, coming in late, knocked down to the ground, and whistles are going to come in.
There's going to be a free kick or a throw-in.
That was Sophia Zepps for the Braves. They're going to set it up on a free kick. Going to put it right at the 12, or at the 7-yard line, rather. Caraway will look to boot it in. Taking a walk. Center. It's a slow roller and cleared out quickly by the Braves. Not sure if she got quite enough of that on that free kick. Now Wheat's working it up the way for the Braves. A little too far ahead. Chieftains will track that down on the far side. Wheat's still fighting hard. You'll have Lopez and Kofer both ready to check back in for the Braves at the next stoppage for Coach Riley. Chieftains coming back to work on the far side this time. And it taken away. This match very well could come down to whoever kind of makes the next big mistake and the other to capitalize on it. That could be the difference in the winner and the loser in this one. And I know that might sound like, well, yeah, obviously, but both teams have definitely had their opportunities, just haven't been able to capitalize on them. Carried out by Blanca. Trying to get something going here, the Chieftains. Numbers favoring the Braves right now. Now the Cavalry's going to arrive. Here the Chieftain fans starting to get into it now. Halfway home here in the second half. Good takeaway there by Sanders. Cleared back out the way. Ricocheted off of Wheats. Chieftains in control. Coming back near side to Blanca. Gets away for a moment, trying to clear it back up. Braves to keep it on this side. Sanders telegraphing that again. She's been all over the place tonight. Changing directions, putting it towards the center. No one going to be able to run it down for the Chieftains. That one off of Lopez. It's back to her now. Or Nevaeh Brown, rather, for the Braves. It goes out of bounds, and a chance for the Chieftains to catch their breath on a quick slowdown and a throw in on the far side. Looking for Caraway. Had it taken away. Up in the air, sent by Mathis. Both teams fighting hard on the far side. It'll be Chieftain ball. It's hard just not to look around. Again, a little chill with the wind, but overall just a gorgeous night here at Tonganoxie High School. Dylan Funk and Dennis Drennan here with you while we got the stoppage. A really brief, quick look what we got coming up here in the near future. I mentioned baseball coming up on May 12th. Before that, we will have a stream of the 2026 high school graduation ceremony. That'll be Saturday, May 9th at 10 a.m. We'll have that stream for you free right here on Tonganoxie Sports Live, as we've had for all the prior years before. And then, of course, any postseason spring sports, baseball, softball, girls soccer, any of those potential playoff broadcasts we will announce as we go along. So after we're done on May 12th, that doesn't necessarily mean we're done for the year. We'll look, gauge where all of our teams are going to be playing at, and, of course, if we're able to do it by KSHA rules and standards, we're able to show up and do a broadcast, we're going to be there to do it for you. So follow along over at varsitysportslive.com for all the latest broadcasting updates. But where things sit right now, graduation May 9th, baseball May 12th. That's all the guarantees we got left here in this spring sports season. Gemma Halsa is going to quickly check back in for the Chieftains. And we've been blessed the past 2 springs to have trips out to Salina for state baseball, hoping we can have another one of those for baseball or softball or both. That'd be really fun. And, of course, maybe along the way call some girls soccer home playoff matches too. That would be something we haven't had the chance to do yet here on Tonganoxie Sports Live for boys or girls. And always give my kudos, give the flowers to the Tonganoxie Soccer YouTube channel. Always streaming all the games, home, away, neutral, regular season, playoffs, doesn't matter. They're there. They stream every single game. A shout out to the Tonganoxie Soccer YouTube channel for always being able to bring live boys and girls soccer coverage every school year to you folks here on YouTube. Another quick deflection there by Sanders. Stops that shot on goal. Brave hits the deck. Shot is on a line and just a little bit high. The Braves try to capitalize there late. A decent look, just a little bit high over the crossbar. Also to tee it up right on the O in Tonganoxie in the end zone. She boots it away, a skip at about the 17. Braves right there, quickly on the takeaway. This is Lopez. Pesky defense here by the Chieftains, eventually cleared out of bounds by Butler, as initially Lopez was able to shake off Abigail Blanca. And now that'll bring a Braves corner kick. And it's always on these corner kicks that you kind of hold your breath, because you get it there in the middle, you get all those bodies, all those boots on it. You never know what can happen. Here it is on the centering pass, headed up and in the wrong direction. That was Mathis that got her noggin on it, and it goes out of play. And again, no dice for the Braves on a corner kick opportunity as we approach 15 to go in the match.
Substitution for the Braves, number 27, Faith Thomas.
Chieftain Athletics tonight presented in part by Wizard of Paws, Tonganoxie's family-owned pet grooming salon with a combined 48 years of experience. Schedule your pet's appointment today at wizardofpaws.tongi.com, and also by Kansas City, Kansas Community College, whether you want to take classes in school or after graduation. KCKCC is in your backyard. Check out how college can help you today at kckcc.com. Dylan Funk and Dennis Drennan here with you on a match potentially could go all the way down to the wire. 0-0 between the Chieftains and the Braves here on the soccer pitch. Our second and final girls soccer regular season broadcast of the season. Braves under 500 on the year, looking for a big win on the road to go 2 in a row in Frontier League play. Meanwhile, the Chieftains, shorthanded with injuries, number 3 in classes 4 through 1A, trying to get a win and keep their positioning in a prime spot in a place that this program has not been in quite some time. Trying to get wins while continuing to work themselves back to about as full as health as they possibly can going into postseason play, which will be here before we know it. We've got the final handful of matches here in the regular season as we close the book on April and open the book on May, starting at midnight tonight. Up and ahead, trying to set it up for Lopez, and not going to be able to get to it. Cleared out by Blanca. Of course, May, for any student athlete, it's always one of the best months, I think, because school's ending, and of course postseason. If you're one of the spring sports players, postseason, state meet for track and field going to be coming up here before you know it. And of course, one of the least favorites, always August, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
That's back to school. Right? You start hearing those cicadas outside, that's when you know. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Seeing all the back to school ads on TV.
Ads on TV. Oh, it used to drive me nuts. Nothing here. And holding the knee, and time will be stopped. Coach Orndorff getting a little vocal from the Tongi bench as well. Not really pleased as Blanca came up injured and didn't like how they did not stop the match.
Injury substitution for the Chieftains, number 45, Emily Fox.
And Blanca, little hobble, looks like the left knee. We were here 9 days ago. We saw Natalie Loving leave with a knee injury that hasn't been able to at least play in today's match. Haven't seen her out there, Natalie Loving. Now Blanca leaves, and hopefully it's nothing serious. And this Chieftain team cannot afford to have any more injuries at this point in the season. Lopez trying to give a charge here for the Braves. Oh, it's taken away. That's Felton that poked it. Now in control of Sanders. Quick stop motion, able to weave her way around Nilgis. Out of bounds, and that'll be still in control of Bonner Springs. And of course, for the Braves, too, it was a pretty eventful winter sports season for the Braves, too. Of course, the boys' basketball team went in the state championship out in Wichita, I believe. That was quite a game they had against Cape and Mount Carmel.
They came from behind.
Came from behind to win it. Kellen Gruber had a big three to seal it there at the end, and that was a fun Bonner Springs team to watch. And
Boy,
you were just watching the landscape of boys 5A basketball. You knew in the East it was Bonner, out West it was Capon, and you were just hoping those two would meet in the state championship, and they did. And man, what a classic did they deliver.
Well, the Braves only lost one game all year.
And that was to the 4A state champions, the Baldwin Bulldogs, who won for the first time in their school's history. Over a century, there's been Baldwin Boys High School basketball, and finally in 2026, in the 2025-26 season, they finally broke through and won the big game. And for Cooper Carr and Leo Schoenberger and that senior class that they had, it was very fitting. It's so cool to see them win that. Of course, our sister station, Baldwin Sports Live, Ryan Hilmer, they got to cover that run. A lot of fun for the Bulldogs, watching them finally win the state crown as that goes wide of the goal. About 10.5 to go in this one. Two state champions from the Frontier League. You hear us say it all the time, how tough, how competitive the Frontier League is. Well, there's your prime example of it.
No question.
You had the 4A and the 5A boys state champions playing in the same league.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much tougher than that. Sanders and the Chieftains knowing time's trying to run out. They want to wrap this thing up in regulation. We're under 10. Sanders towards the middle, going to try to take a shot, a little curler, and it takes a couple of bounces before it goes into the hands of Billings. And she'll give it a boot. It'll bounce right at about the 50-yard line. We'll have to potentially brush up if things don't change here in the remaining 9:40 and counting of our potential overtime rules. I believe we've had one other overtime match here on Tonganoxie Sports Live, and I believe we play a set amount of time, and then after that, if it's still tied, I think it just ends in a tie, unless the natural next step of that would be like penalty kicks, but I don't know or how exactly that'll go. We'll find out if things don't change here. Chieftains will have a little bit of time off. They'll be back coming up on Tuesday, May 5th, on the road at Casey Turner. Then they'll play at Eudora on May 7th. Back here at home, May 12th against Kansas City Christian, and then May 14th against Hayden. That big matchup on the 12th against Kansas City Christian. Currently the #1 team in Class 4A. That could be a good measuring stick match for both squads going late into the postseason, as we're going to be over at baseball doing Tonganoxie and Rock Creek. That's May 12th. That's a big athletic day here at Tongi High. That is incredible. Of course, it's been a soccer feud for as long as I can remember. Tonganoxie against Kansas City Christian, particularly over on the boys' side. Going to be happening this year on the girls' side, too, as Brewer, again, will get a grasp on it, and another chance going awry for the Braves. Under 8 minutes to go in regulation. Again, for both these teams, particularly for Tongi, a loss you don't really want to take. You want to win. In the case of a tie, it's not necessarily going to hurt you, but it's not going to help you either. You're just going to kind of stay put, and even if a team behind you wins, and you win a tie, that would be in benefit of the team behind you, as they essentially would kind of make up like a half game behind situation in that case. So you're looking at, in the 4 spot in 4-1A is Bishop Seabury Academy with an overall of 5-2 coming into tonight, but that Sini points at 7-14 where the Chieftains have 7-27. So again, something that the Chieftains definitely would love to find a way to get a win here tonight and not have to take a tie, and could possibly potentially be leapfrogged by Bishop Seabury in the standings.
They're out of Lawrence, aren't they?
They are. Bishop Seabury, home of the Seahawks. They're right there up the way on, I believe, Clinton Parkway is where you'll find them. Especially in soccer, I feel like you get a lot of these like smaller Christian schools out. In other sports, Heritage Christian Academy. There's Bishop Seabury Maranatha Academy over in Shawnee / I think it's Shawnee. I don't think it's Lenexa. Shawnee. Heritage Christian's the one I'm thinking about in Lenexa. Brewer clears it out again. KC Christian, like we mentioned, them too. Coming near the final 5 minutes. Imagine both teams going to be starting to have if they haven't already, big sense of urgency. Trying to go up and away. Another quick deflection by the Braves, stopping the momentum of the Chieftains as it goes out of bounds. Throwing it in, it'll be Felton. Lobs it up ahead. A little jousting there. Halsa gets a boot on it. Quick touch by Butler. Here's Sanders coming up the floor with it. Up the pitch with it, rather. Spinning around near midfield and off of one defender. She's been tremendous at this all night. Feeding it up and ahead. Here's a chance for the Chieftains. Marissa Dick on the left side, centering it up. Diving out is Billington. She's on top of it. Nicely done. It was set up by Sanders. Maneuvering her way through, was able to thread the needle to Marissa Dick, who did everything she could. And then Billings to follow it up. She sends it out of bounds. So now the Chieftains are in possession. 4.5 to go. Vogt falls down to the turf, losing it. Caraway feeding it up ahead. Quick deflection and out of bounds there for the Braves. That's number 24, as in Vogel. They get to boot on it, just playing it safe there. Will force the Chieftains to reset. Meanwhile, the far side ball boys finally getting a workout in. Final minutes, final seconds, melting away in this one. Throwing it at the corner for Bonner. Nobody home. Blanca, who's back out there after tweaking her knee a little earlier. She worked on it on the sideline with athletic trainer Mark Padfield. Everything was okay. She's back out there. Chieftains trying to keep it down at this end of the field. Braves trying to get it back, as they will. Halsa close to it for the Chieftains. A couple of Braves approaching her quickly, as that'll go out of bounds. And now the Braves will have it down at their end of the pitch. Flipping the field around here are the Braves, approaching the final 3 minutes. Vogel in there again, getting a boot on it, knocking that one loose. That was from Marissa Dick. Chieftain still in control. On the far side, it goes to Blanca inside the 20, kicking it ahead inside the 5, and right at Billings. She goes down to a knee to scoops up that shot. And on the scoop, she'll boot it away. It's going to come down at about the 47. Into the chest of Butler. She's been battling her tail off there tonight. Butler still fighting hard. Nobody home for the Chieftains, though. It was Owens that got a boot on it for the Brave, the only one closest to it. Sanders been right up there with Butler. Halsa as well on that backline defense. Butler keeping it away here on the near sideline, trying to go up the field. There's Vogel again that boots it out onto the track. 2-minute warning in the match. A quick sub in here for the Chieftains. That'll be Grace Weatherford. Throw in here coming. It's from Evelyn Fox. Caraway almost was the hero at the end of the first half. She had the only what was a goal in the final seconds, and then was taken away as the officials deemed it a no goal. Other than that, it's been no dice for anybody. Now in the final 90. Could we potentially be staring down the barrel of overtime? Also on the back line defense, under a minute. High leverage situations from here on out in this match.
Substitution for Braves, number 15, Bailey
Weiss, a quick substitution here for Bonner Springs. Throw in from Vogel, going in towards the center. Crowd of bodies cleared out by the Chieftains. Approaching the final 30 seconds. Tonganoxie. Weatherford trying to go up ahead. It's going to be cleared away. Brewer, one of the most agonizing catches that she'll probably have to try to make this season. A lot of pressure knowing it goes out of my hands. This could be the end of the match. She scoops it up there again. We had fireworks in the final seconds of the first half. Could we see them here at the end of the second half and into the match? Shot on goal, diving away. Oh, and it goes in. Oh my goodness! It's a goal for Bonner with 0.8 of a second remaining.
Wow.
You could not come up with this in Hollywood even. A goal in the final seconds.
Well, and Tongi had one to end the first half.
And the Braves do it at the end of regulation. Still trying to get the number of who got the goal. Running around, at least Sophia Felton was the one to do it. And the Chieftains, they played hard the entirety of this match. And this is going to end in a 1-0 win for the Braves, and they go on back-to-back. They beat the Cyclones on Tuesday, the Chieftains on Thursday, and a agonizing 1-0 loss for the number 3 team in 4-1A in Tonganoxie. Here's another look at the walk-off goal for Felton, and it's almost the exact situation that Caraway had in the first half. The one for Caraway got wiped out before halftime. This one, though, is going to stand as it had 0.8 of a second remaining. Oh, my goodness, what a heartbreaking loss here for the Chieftains.
What a finish. I mean, they get beat on a buzzer beater.
As we transition now into our Brothers Market post-game show, check out the weekly hats and specials in-store or online at shopbrothersmarket.com, where they treat you like family. We were treated to a great match here tonight. Wish we could have seen the Chieftains get the win. Unfortunately, they lose it in the final 0.8 of a second.
Wow.
It's
can't draw it up any different than, I mean, that's crazy.
It was a goal in the 79th minute, 79th plus minute by Sophia Felton, the sophomore little infielder for Bonner Springs, as she walks it off. Again, the Braves, they now sit at 5-6 overall, a team that is continuing to surge into 5A rankings. Meanwhile, for Tonganoxie, they lose here tonight. And, coming into tonight, we talked about the injuries with the Chieftains being shorthanded. Right. They had 3 losses before coming into tonight. You lost to the number 2 team in your class in Lewisburg in a 5-0 loss on the road, and then you lost here at home to 2 very talented top 10 5A squads. This one tonight against Bonner, it's definitely, not going to get maybe as much grace as some of those other losses. It's a tough one to say the least, but still everything that's still left to be played for, it's right out in front of this Chieftain squad, and as they continue to try to nurse back to full health, season's definitely not over, but maybe an unexpected speed bump tonight, losing in the final seconds.
Yeah, no question about it, partner. Like you said, they had their chances, but Bonner Springs able to come up with the buzzer-beating goal.
Yeah, what are the odds in a soccer match that you have both of your actual goals, the ones that found the back of the net, coming in the final second of the first and second half, respectively, and the one for the Chieftains, unfortunately, in that first half, for Lagan Caraway, they just said it did not get to the back of the net in time. And in the case for Sophia Felton, as we just saw, she had 0.8 of a second to spare. I mean, that's microscopic, in the grand scheme of things. But still, overall, a great match tonight. It was very thrilling, a lot of theatrics all the way to the end. Unfortunately, the Chieftains just coming up on the short end of it. Like I mentioned, they'll have some time off. They'll be back in action coming up on Tuesday, May 5th. If we get the chance to see this team again, it will be in the postseason. And again, one of the things you hate to see in the world of sports is when you have such a promising start, you have good chemistry, and then you see injuries. We've seen it many times at the high school, college, and even the professional levels, where you can have all the talent, all the momentum on your side, and then injuries can come along, and it just kind of plagues your season. The Chieftains right now trying not to let that define their season, but definitely an unexpected loss here tonight. We'll have a chance to bounce back on Tuesday and at least try to wrap up this season. And you can still find yourself in the top 5 of these 4-1A rankings in the standings. Definitely still a lot to play out in front of this team. One more look what we got coming up here as far as broadcast-wise. We'll have the free stream of the 2026 high school graduation ceremony coming up on Saturday, May 9th. That's next Saturday. starting at 10 a.m. We will have all the ceremony, everything covered for you in case if you or a loved one are not able to make it out to graduation at Tonganoxie High School in Chieftain Arena. Next Saturday, we'll have baseball for you. That following Tuesday, May 12th, at home against the Rock Creek Mustangs. That'll be a doubleheader. And, of course, like I mentioned, any spring postseason games will be announced as we go along in the month of May. So follow along at varsitysportslive.com/Tonganoxie to be up to date on all the latest broadcast information as we put an end of this spring sports season. A tough one tonight. Chieftains lose it in the final 0.8 of a second, 1-0 against the Bonner Springs Braves. A walk-off goal for the sophomore Bonner, Sophia Felton. Any final thoughts as we bring it into our coverage here tonight?
Yeah, it's got to be heartbreaking for the Chieftains because they played such good defense. I mean, the whole entire time, and in the last second they get beat.
It's tough. I mean, the definition of losing on a buzzer beater wasn't quite a buzzer beater because there were still 0.8, but still gut-wrenching to say the least. And even then in the final seconds, I mean, they played well. It wasn't like you had a breakaway goal there at the end. You made the Braves had to earn it, and Felton had to size up her shot, and that's just one you tip your cap and you just try to move on, looking to pick up a win coming up on Tuesday as you will be taking on the KC Turner Golden Bears, the first of two back-to-back on the road next week. Tuesday at Turner and then Thursday at Eudora, another top 10 matchup in 4 through 1A and another tough matchup in the Frontier League. That's going to do it for us here tonight on Tonganoxie Sports. I want to thank you all that's been following along and watching throughout tonight and through the entire of this 2025-2026 school year, along with Dennis Drennan and along with the rest of our entire outstanding crew here at Tonganoxie High School. And for Varsity Sports Live, I'm Dylan Funk and saying so long. We'll see you next time here on your home of the Chieftains, Tonganoxie Sports Live. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday for graduation.
From the gridiron to the hardcourt, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports coverage at varsitysportslive.com.